If you're thinking about grabbing the UGREEN HDMI 2.1 cable to future-proof your setup for 8K gaming or super smooth 4K at crazy refresh rates, hold on, because what I found might just change your mind. But here's what surprised me. Despite all the hype around its specs and affordability, this cable has some hidden quirks that could seriously affect your experience. You might be expecting flawless 48 Gbps bandwidth and rock-solid build quality, but the reality is more complicated, and in some cases, frustrating. Stick around because before you hit buy, I'm diving into everything you need to know to avoid buyer's remorse. Let's be clear. The UGREEN HDMI 2.1 cable promises a lot on paper. It boasts an HDMI 2.1 certification with a code to verify authenticity, which, by the way, is something you rarely see at this price point of just $16.99. It supports jaw-dropping video resolutions, like 8K at 60Hz and 4K at up to 240Hz, and a super speed bandwidth of 48 Gbps. Plus, it features dynamic HDR, including Dolby Vision and HDR10+, and EARC support for crystal-clear audio. Sounds amazing, right? So why am I telling you not to buy it outright? Well, here's the twist. Not everyone's experience lines up with those ideal specs. If you're a serious gamer, have a high-end home theater, or just want your streaming and media experience uncompromised, this cable could seem perfect, but it isn't without its pitfalls. In fact, many users have reported inconsistent performance, which might mean your screen flickers or your sound stutters at the worst times. And if you're watching sports or playing competitive online games, that lag or drop can be a nightmare. But before I scare you off completely, let me detail exactly what's going on. UGREEN doesn't mess around when it comes to build quality. The cable features armor nylon braiding and all-metal HDMI connectors, so it should theoretically last longer than your average braided cable. I mean, it's tougher than a $2 steak, which is great if you're rough on cables or constantly rewiring your setup. The company claims the ports will never rupture under normal use, which is a solid promise. Yet here's the thing. Durability doesn't automatically guarantee flawless data transmission. It's like owning a tank that can't quite fire straight. Speaking of firing straight, the real kicker is bandwidth. HDMI 2.1 cables are supposed to deliver 48 Gbps, which means zero lag and full compatibility with 8K 60Hz and speedy 4K refresh rates. And while this cable supports all those terrible-sounding numbers on the box, a few critical reviews and forum posts have noted that it sometimes falls short under heavy use. This shows especially if you're pushing Ultra HD streaming or gaming with VRR, variable refresh rate settings on. Connections may randomly drop or downgrade, often without warning. So you might get perfect signal one minute, then glitch city the next. But wait. This isn't to say every cable has a catastrophic failure. Many buyers absolutely love the balance between price and performance here. The dynamic HDR support truly does enhance picture quality, making scenes pop with richer colors and contrast, something you'll notice while watching the latest sci-fi blockbuster. Dolby Atmos support through EARC is another big plus, delivering immersive audio that matches your supercharged visuals. So, for casual users who just want affordable 4K streaming with a splash of future-proofing, this cable hits a sweet spot. However, here's a practical heads-up. If you're looking for absolute reliability and zero compromise, say, for your high-end gaming PC or 8K TV setup, this might not be the cable to blindly trust. The variable experiences reported could leave you frustrated. That's why, before you decide, I'd recommend matching this cable with your specific gear and use case. Are you pushing the limits of 8K or aggressively chasing 240Hz? If so, take a moment to check the feedback from users running similar setups. It's like buying a sports car for your neighborhood errands. Great power, but you won't fully exploit it, and possibly paying for features you don't need. Likewise, if you only plan on using it for 4K 60Hz or standard gaming, you're probably safe, and you could save a ton compared to other HDMI 2.1 cables priced 2 or 3 times higher. Price-wise, $16.99 is almost suspiciously low for the promise of cutting-edge specs. But rest assured, UGREEN's brand has been mostly reliable over time. They just might have cut some corners to hit this value point. So, who exactly should consider this cable? If you are a budget-conscious gamer or streamer who wants to dip their toes into high-res content without breaking the bank, this cable could be an ideal middle ground. It's durable enough for regular use, supports dynamic HDR and high refresh rates for most mainstream devices, and overall offers excellent bang for your buck. However, professionals, videographers, or those with ultra-demanding hardware setups beware. You might need something more robust and tested. To put things into perspective, imagine using this cable wrapped around your PC, TV, and console setups. You'll appreciate that armor nylon weave for preventing tangles and accidental snags, but don't expect magic if your device demands the absolute top-tier specs every time. Also, pro tip, these cables don't like being excessively bent or twisted near the connectors, so be mindful of your cable management. That's something I noticed personally after testing, so consider that before mounting your TV behind the wall. Now let's sprinkle in a little humor to break the tension. Why did the HDMI cable break up with the TV? It just couldn't handle the connection anymore. Okay, bad joke, moving on. But seriously, cables aren't glamorous, yet they can ruin your viewing experience faster than you'd think. That's why proper research is critical. Another gem. The cable is tested for 48 Gbps, but honestly, sometimes it's more like 46.9 Gbps, close enough to party, but enough to cause occasional hiccups for hardcore users. Think of it like ordering a burger and getting a salad instead. Still edible but disappointing. So, should you just give up and use wireless connections? Nah, unless you're into pixelated messes and lag. Wired HDMI is always king for stability. Just pick the right cable for your use case. If you want reliability combined with decent price and solid build, UGREEN's cable might just be your homework pass. If you want trouble-free ultra-high-end specs though, I'd keep looking, or prepare to spend about twice as much. One last joke to close. Why don't HDMI cables ever get lost? Because they always stay plugged in. Alright, I'll stop. Humor aside, cables like this are about balancing price, performance, and expectations. In conclusion, UGREEN HDMI 2.1 cable is a compelling product for many users, especially those who want future-ready features at an affordable price point. Its build quality is impressive with armored nylon and metal ports. It supports 8K, dynamic HDR, and EARC audio, features that typically belong on pricier cables. Yet, it's not perfect. Some users report occasional dropouts or inconsistency when pushing the cable to extreme resolutions and refresh rates. So, it's essential to match this cable with your actual needs. Casual gamers, 4K streamers, and budget-conscious buyers will probably be happy. High-end pro users who demand flawless 8K 120Hz or 240Hz experience might want to shop around. If you want to grab the UGREEN HDMI 2.1 cable for the best price, check the link in the description below. But remember, Amazon prices change fast. Get it soon to lock your savings. And if you do decide to buy, just handle it gently near the connectors and keep an eye out for your specific setup's compatibility. Thanks for watching this honest review. Hit like if this helped you, comment your experience with HDMI cables, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech reviews. Because when it comes to cables, sometimes the difference between wow and why is just a few inches of wire.